The San Francisco 49ers have been dealt a devastating blow to their Super Bowl aspirations with the news that starred defensive end Nick Bosa has suffered a season-ending ACL injury. And while injuries are a cruel and unavoidable part of football, this one stings more than most, because Bosa is not only the heart and soul of the 49ers defense, but also one of the most dominant pass rushers in the entire NFL. A player who consistently changes the outcome of games by collapsing pockets, forcing quarterbacks into mistakes, and energizing the crowd and his teammates with relentless pursuit. His absence immediately raises questions about how the 49ers can adapt defensively, whether they're depth pieces like Bryce Huff, rookie Michael Williams, or veteran rotational linemen can step up to fill the void, and how defensive coordinator Robert Saleh, returning to the Bay Area after his stint as head coach of the Jets, will adjust his scheme to account for losing his most disruptive weapon, perhaps relying more on creative blitz packages, disguised coverages, and rotational fronts to generate pressure. But even the most creative scheme cannot fully replicate what Bosa brings to the table with his unique combination of speed, power, and football IQ. For fans, this feels eerily reminiscent of past seasons when injuries derailed otherwise promising campaigns, sparking fears that the 49ers are once again cursed by the injury bug. Yet it also provides a narrative of resilience, because championship teams are not just built on stars, but also on depth, grit, and the next man up mentality. And this moment will test the locker room's leadership as veterans like Fred Warner, Eric Armstead, and Trent Williams rally the team to push forward without their defensive anchor. On the field, the ripple effect of Bosa's absence is massive. Opposing quarterbacks will now have more time in the pocket, which puts additional pressure on the secondary to hold coverage longer, increases the chances of explosives V-plays, and may force the offense, led by Brock Purdy or Mac Jones depending on health, to carry more of the load by scoring faster and more often, shifting the identity of the team from a defensive juggernaut to a more balanced or even offensively tilted squad. And that transformation will be fascinating to watch over the coming weeks. In the locker room, coaches will emphasize opportunity, reminding young players that stars are made in moments like these. And fans will be watching closely to see if someone like Huff can emerge as the breakout name of the season, not just as a placeholder, but as a playmaker who helps keep the defensive front dangerous. While rookies and rotational players will suddenly find themselves thrust into roles they might not have expected until later in their careers, making this a trial by fire that could either expose weaknesses or reveal hidden gems. Beyond the tactical impact, there's also the emotional side, as Bosa has been a leader by example, his work ethic, and intensity, raising the standard for the entire defense, and losing him in the middle of a season with such high expectations leaves a void that cannot be measured only in sacks or pressures, but in the heartbeat of the team. And now the question becomes whether the 49ers can transform this setback into motivation, using the rallying cry of "Do it for Nick" to push through adversity and build a stronger collective identity. Fans are already voicing concern about whether this could be the beginning of a downward spiral. But history shows that the 49ers have bounced back from adversity before, and the culture built by Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch emphasizes resilience, preparation, and belief, which could be the intangible edge they need to weather this storm. Looking ahead, the schedule offers no mercy, with tough matchups against NFC rivals looming. And without Bosa wreaking havoc, quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, and Matthew Stafford will feel far less pressure, potentially turning these games into shootouts that will test the offense's efficiency, while also putting Robert Saleh in the spotlight to prove that his return as defensive coordinator was the right move, as fans and analysts will scrutinize every adjustment he makes to keep the defense respectable. Yet, while the loss of Bosa feels catastrophic in the moment, it also provides a chance for other stars to shine. For Warner to cement his status as the league's best linebacker by carrying the unit, for Armstead to step up as the veteran leader in the trenches, and for emerging talents to write their own stories in the shadow of a fallen star. And that is what makes sports so compelling. The uncertainty, the drama, the way adversity can break or build a team. Ultimately, this season will now be defined by how the 49ers respond to this setback, whether they crumble under the weight of losing their most important defender, or whether they channel the energy of their fans, the leadership of the ear captains, and the tactical adjustments of their coaches to prove that one man, no matter how great, does not define the destiny of an entire franchise. And if the 49ers can rally together, surprise doubters, and keep their championship window alive, then Nick Bosa's injury will not only be remembered as a tragic blow, but also as the spark that lit a fire under a team determined to finish the journey they started.